freaking terrible.
But we'll work hard to solve the format.
7 wins.
And I'm sure we'll make it there.
All right, what's up, my friends? I am home from the Pro Tour. That's right, of course, Pro Tour Outlaws of Thunder Junction last weekend in Seattle. YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, and my full recap is on my main channel. I did a draft review and a little interview thing on the Bronze Mythic channel. Want to hear your feedback on those also. I've got some feedback that those don't really fit very well on the Bronze Mythic channel as far as like interrupting the schedule and stuff. So love to hear your feedback on those. But I'm home. Long and short of it is I went 10-5-1 at the Pro Tour. 25th place for $3,000 and a foil Ren and 6 worth about $3,000 as well. It's about $6,000 in prize. Went 5-4-1 in constructed, playing S for mid-range, but more importantly for Bronze Mythic, I went 5-1 in limited. Lost my last round to not go 6-0 in limited, and then that's not too bad, right? So Jim's always punted on stream, but crushing at the Pro Tour, which is pretty cool. So now I am home, of course, and we're going to continue our Bronze to Mythic run. We are Gold Tier 2, Episode 7. Anything you miss is on YouTube, of course. And then, like I said, those draft recaps, and then, of course, the actual Pro Tour recaps are also on YouTube. So check those out. And I'm home. So I'm now in Pro Tour shape, obviously. So, you know, I've done a bajillion drafts at this point, so a little off the usual Bronze Mythic schedule, but that's just the reality situation when they release a set and have a Pro Tour like 4 days later or whatever. So that's that. So so we're back into it. I'm happy to be back. Hopefully you're happy to have me back. Let's do some drafts. It's been a really fun format, honestly. I like how this format is balanced because the colors aren't really balanced, but they aren't so bad that like any color is unplayable. Like blue is like not super great at common, but the uncommons are really good, and vice versa. Green's really good, but now it's deep. So let's do our thing, right? Let's get in and do our thing and get our draft going and rock and roll here on Bronze Mythic.
Your friend is quite a mercenary.
All right, here we go. Let's do this. Draft time, home from the Pro Tour. And what do we open? But Tiny Bones joins up. Just a little guy. You know, just a little guy trying to join up a squad. And not a great limited card, unless you have some really insane crime stuff in your deck. And some legends. You got Void Rend here, which is obviously a good removal spell. But it is 3 colors. Don't want to start there, of course. Bloom Marsh, Vigilante, and Tice Tycoon. Both reasonable white cards. Shoot the Sheriff and Consuming Ashes is pretty funny. I feel like Consuming Ashes is just better than Shoot the Sheriff is, because this thing has so many misses in the format. But what we got here is one of our favorite cards, and one of the biggest points of discussion in the Pro Tour house was, what do you take pick 1, pack 1? Spinewood's Armadillo or Mana Drain? The answer may surprise you. It's Spinewood's Armadillo, because Mana Drain, blue is the weakest color. Starting with the blue card is not where we want to be. Green's the best color, and this card is absolutely insane. Armadillo is just awesome on every side of the ball. Also cool with the graveyard stuff. So there's a pretty juice back, honestly. Tarantula's great. Sheriff, Ashes, lots of good stuff here. But taking the Armadillo, this can go great into a green, you know, multicolor deck, or just into just a green deck, you know, green white or whatever it might be. So pass back number 2, and we have the rare, no rare pack in pack 2. Only 1 rare in the pack. So weird, right? It's so weird in this format where like most packs have like 3 rares and 6 uncommons. So when you get a regular pack that only has like 1 rare and 3 uncommons in it, you feel gypped. You're like, what the hell is going on here? You know, what's happening? So, pack's kind of weak. We have the Possum, which I'm a huge fan of. I absolutely adore this card. Mount, great stats. Allows you to return your things and cast them over and over again, which is cool. We got a Naturalist, which is obviously quite good as well. And then not too much else to even consider, honestly. Like the Agony's not super great. Ruckus is pretty good, but red, I think red's the worst color in the format, honestly. Even though blue has worse commons, I think red is worse at the uncommon and rare level. So if blue is open, you kind of get the hookup, where red's just kind of like, eh. But yeah, pretty easy Possum here. Card's great. After our first pick green card, I'm very, very pleased with that. So, pack number 3 rolls along. We see an Umport's Vigilante, which is a fine card, just okay. Murder, just a classic. We got Murder. We got the Courser as well. Pretty solid mount. Usually we'll get a card off of it, which is kind of sweet. We got Mystical Tether, which is a pretty great removal spell. And then we have Dance of the Tumbleweeds, which is a pretty sweet card. This plays quite well in like the multicolor deck, so you get to fix your mana, make a nice 6/6 token later. And this card's pretty good. This question here is, do we want to take a slightly higher value card in Tether or Murder, which is our removal spell, or kind of save a course on Dance? Courser's pretty good too, but I don't think good enough to take over these. And once we have an Armadillo and a Dance in our pack, we're looking to be kind of like a 5-color green deck, most likely. Murder's not really splashable. I don't really want to be green-black. I think it's going to be the Tumbleweeds. Tether's great, but Tumbleweeds also cuts off green, too, which is nice. Getting us well set up to be a nice multi... Oh, crap. Uh-oh. Yeah, we can't really swerve with this one, unfortunately. Cruel Ultimatum's the ultimate, like, if you're in kind of card in this format. Card's pretty insane, but obviously very, very hard to cast. But I think we're going to skip out on that one this time around. We had it. This is our 7th draft. We've had it like 3 times already. All right, so it's not like we have to like do the Cruel Ultimatum Dream. So we got Desert's Due here, which is one of the best kill spells in these multicolor kind of desert-based decks. So you're playing much deserts anyway. Great removal spell. Honestly, Lullaby is not a very good card, but it can be fine in the more defensive ramp decks, which is kind of cool. And most white decks don't want it, which is nice. So. Passing Cruel Ultimatum, passing the Haunting, and the Posse both aren't great. Pretty easy Deserts Duo here, I think. And again, we're looking out for deserts, looking out for multicolored stuff. Although, it's important to note we haven't seen a desert yet. So someone downstream might be taking them and kind of doing the same thing we are, so you need to be aware of that. Could end up being green also. So, pass it back here. Got Tyrant Score, pretty good blue-black removal spell, but obviously very committing. We've got At Knife Point. A rare of it, uncommon hasn't really worked out. Definitely some of the signpost uncommons in this set kind of feel like they're punking you. Where you try them out and they're just like, they just don't really work. Like they lead you astray, you know? We got Bandit's Hall, which is a card I actually really like. I think I disagree with all of these rankings here. This card's been quite good for me in the multicolor decks and in the Grixis decks. This card and Cruel Ultimatum are big time buddies, actually. But yeah, I think Bandit's Hall is actually pretty great. This pack's pretty thin, so pretty happy to take it, honestly. Take our Hall. We get past a Bluffs, so our first Desert. Also a Tai Joaquin, Perfect Shot, which is a pretty cool card that plays well with the desert, so you can fireball your opponent and stuff, but not really a card we want. This is a double off-color Bluffs, but I think that, like, given the texture we have so far with the Armadillo, the Hall, and the Tumbleweeds, we can play basically anything. So I think we're going to start taking deserts here and kind of spreading out, and then hopefully whatever rare we open we can play, which is nice. Snakescape Veil is really, really good in this format. It's excellent in any sort of, like, good 2-color deck. Green-white especially. It's a premier card with so much removal in the format. But don't really want it in your rampy decks where you're more focused on ramping and, you know, multicolor bombs, so on and so forth. So, past another kind of thin back here. Nova Brigand's actually insane. This card's really, really good. And, obviously if you're playing deserts, it's kind of cool. This card's obviously good in crime decks, but also just good in desert decks too, because you can just get in for a card or two. That's pretty great. We got Tornado. Mourner Surprise is fine, but unexciting. And again, we're not really sure how black we are yet. Charger, Pulverizer. Take the second high quality card here. Brigand. Force a reminder, of course, the overlay here is the untap.gg overlay. Download it for free. Untap.gg. It's a draftsmith overlay. Free to download. Help you track your drafts and good stuff. And then another kind of weak back, huh? Another Knife Point. A bunch of cards we don't really want to play in our decks. And then a Jailbreak Scheme, which is pretty good, honestly. This is a pretty good removal spell. It's just Time Ebb with some upside, which is kind of nice. And Jailbreak's good. Card's totally fine. Blue-green, also not a bad archetype either. If you get some of the good blue uncommons late, it's a good place to be. Blooming Marsh Tables, as does a Vigilante and the Void Rend. Also a Robbery and a Scheme. It's a pretty deep pack here, right? Almost all these cards are playable. That being said, even though it's on a desert, let me take the Marsh here. Void Rend's impossible to cast. Robbery's sweet, but we aren't that red. We know we're green and black, right? So let's just take the land. These white cards are fine. Scheme is not so exciting. And like, if we're multiple colors, we should have better removal spells. So let's take the land. And get past pretty bad pack. Don't really want any of these cards in our decks. Pulverize is okay. Honestly, the body's pretty good. Trick Shot's also okay, but don't really want any of these. So hopefully we won't play them. Sentry, Strix, Deputy. Deputy's the kind of card that you don't want in your deck ever. It's like an emergency. My mana base is that bad. I'll play this card, but really don't want to play this card on rate. The body's just too bad. But we'll take it as an emergency thing. Wow. The Haunting Tables, not really a great card for our deck, but it's a pretty powerful card in general. And then Take the Fall, a card I'm a huge fan of. I think I Take the Fall here. If we end up blue-green, this card's actually pretty insane. Honestly, I think the best blue common, Take the Fall. This card's just awesome. Not the blue commons aren't very good, you know, but this one is just excellent. Does everything you want it to do. It's a double spell card. It's a cheap card. It's a cantrip. Crime. It's everything. So open up pack number 2. What do we see? But the Avarice, Detour, not so good. Lasso, Binding Negotiation, the Thoughtseize effect. pretty good, but not great for splashing black. We got Hellspur Brute. We got Desert's Dew, another one of those, which is great. We also have the Cactarantula, which is surprisingly one of like the best green commons, honestly. Like, this card is just an absolute house. You know, on first set review, this card seems pretty solid but reasonable. But this card's actually insane. This is like the second best green common ever thrown from a saddle, and it's just an absolute house. Part of the reason why green's the best color in the set is because the sizing of all the green cards is just so huge. It's just so big. And then most of the answers are removal spells, which is very often a 2-for-1 when they want to kill it. So, passing that Desert Stew, but we know we're greens. Take the Cactarantula. Get past the pack with a Tiny Bones, the Pickpocket. Tiny Bones is pretty good. Not nearly as good in the Splash, because it's obviously much harder to get the hit early on. The floor here is great. Tiny Bones just like, 1 Death Touch for 1 is obviously just totally fine. It blocks things, it trades. And it is sweet to have this card where like your opponent is scared. Because if you do hit with it and he'll steal a card, it's pretty insane. But I kind of want to take a land, honestly. Got Pylons, Mesa, and I mean, there's a Tether in the pack too. You know, right now we're green. Anything else is kind of a whatever. I kind of want a Desert. Maybe I'll take Tiny Bones. I'll take Tiny Bones. Not sure about it, but card's pretty good. All right, we got Clear Shot and Dance of a Tumbleweeds. Funnily enough, Clear Shot isn't as good in decks like this, where we're kind of like playing out our removal spells and splashing, so we're not always going to have a good creature in play. That being said, it's obviously excellent. Dance is great too, but I think I probably would rather have the removal spell at this point. We already have some big things to do with a lot of mana, so we're also like not really splashing a rare at this point. Like, one of the weird things about going to multicolor green is that like you can take all this fixing and just never get a good rare to splash. So we'll take the Clear Shot. It's obviously good with Death Touch creatures, but like sizing in the format for green is always great regardless. So, all right, we got a Sure Shot. We just passed one of these. This card's also excellent. Just a really, really good rate card out of a pack that is pretty bad overall. There's almost no cards we want here. So Sure Shot's good. Good card. Defiance, double red. Not really us. Everything else here is kind of whatever. Yeah, let's take Sure Shot. It's a Sure Shot. Wow. Another Cactarantula. Inconceivable. Yeah, I mean, boom booms for days, right? Pretty easy one. We got the top end of our curve all set to go here. Now we just want to make sure we're not going to die. And we got Arid Archway. Lone Shark is a good blue common, but like we're not really that blue at this point. Archway is interesting because like you kind of want it in a multicolor deck, but like you kind of don't. It's colorless, but still pretty solid. I do love the bounce land. The bounce is pretty great. So let's take the bounce land. We're still kind of like figuring out our colors, honestly. It's also a desert too, which is nice. Plays well with our 5-drops and 6-drops. This pack's not great. Don't really want any of these cards. The biter is like, it's okay. It's only really playable in like these decks. It's not particularly great though, honestly. Despite being, usually this card's pretty good, but green is just so deep that like, you know, one of the important things about evaluating cards is understanding what you're replacing them with, and like the other green cards are just so much better. Wow, super late trained Arnix. This is like one of the best commons in the entire set. I had 2 of these in my first Pro Tour draft and 1 in my second. This card's just absolutely awesome. It's one of the best beatdown creatures in the entire format. Phenomenally good, but I was not taking it. I think this town ain't big enough. Well, this town ain't big enough. Good splashy card. I actually like the Hound a lot in these decks. Just so you can always cast it on turn 3 and it always blocks, fixes your mana, so on and so forth. And pretty easy there. Detour is not very good regardless. Take the Hound. Sentinel's great. This card's awesome. This card is, it feels like it's in every set, but it's really good in this set. Obviously, you want to defend in your green deck, stay alive for all your multi-card stuff, but like, there's so many ways to attack with it. Being mercenary tokens and big creatures. Card's just great. These back cards are all terrible. And these cards are all terrible. So still looking for a little something extra here in pack 3 to kind of like push us into a color. And we open up alright, that's pretty cool. Outcaster Trailblazer. Great rare. Mana for a 4/2. ETB add a mana of any color. Plot for 3. Then when a creature power 4 greater, ETBs draw a card. So obviously plays great with our 5-drops. You plot it on 3, play it on 4, make a mana, and then play a big thing and draw a card. That's insane. Phenomenal rare. exceptionally good in our deck also with our big things. So basically a perfect card for us to open. Journey's great too. We got a desert, we got another cactus tarantula, but yeah, this is a slam dunk, windmill slam, trailblazer. This is not like the kind of rare that like wins the game by itself, like a dream trawler. This is the kind of rare which is so good on rate that it's just insane. So take that bad boy. We get past the Burrow Fiend. This card is also ridiculous. Green has so many good cheap mounts. 2 mana for a 2/2. Whenever you saddle it, you mill 2, and then it gets +X for the number of creature cards in your graveyard. This card's often a 4/4 or a 5/6, attacking on turn 3 or 4, which is just insane. And the fact it's just a 2-drop as a floor is insane also. So, taking the Burrow Fiend here. We are passing a desert, but I think it's fine. So, take the Burrow Fiend. Very happy about it. We're very green. You know, we're figuring out the rest, but here's another cactus tarantula. Jeez. There's also a Trash the Town, which is a pretty sweet card. This is a combat trick. It's also a card draw spell, which is quite good, honestly. And given that we already have 2 cactus tarantulas, let me take the Trash the Town here. The Trash the Town.
You're saying it wrong.
My bad. Also, Malcolm the Eyes, which is a great card. Legion Extruder is kind of cool too, but yeah. The thing here is that, like, this is an exercise in, like, diminishing returns and just not wanting to have too many of the same thing. I'd rather have 1 Trash Town in my hand and 1 cactus tarantula than 2 cactus tarantulas or 2 Trash Towns, because you want to have them work together. So, what's up, Chaz? How's it going? Folks, tuning in, folks. Welcome to the stream. I'm home. Welcome back to me. Hit the follow button, like, comment, subscribe if you're on YouTube. Support the content. Happy to be back. Appreciate y'all. We got a secret guest card, Port Razor. 4/4, deal combat damage to a player, extra combat step. Not a very good card, honestly. Just like a 5 mana 4/4. We got Lonely Arroyo. We have no white cards in our entire pool. It is a desert, so maybe we want it. And the rest of the cards are all pretty terrible, actually. So, full steam ahead is totally unnecessary in our deck. Everything else is pretty mopey. So, just take the Arroyo. Pronounce resub. Thanks so much. Archangel of Tithes. A little hard to cast that one. White. We got Bounding Feldar, however. This card's actually a house. Pretty insane top-end creature. We're already really good on top-end creatures, though, honestly. So, then we have a Lockpicker, which we have some number of spells, and it's not too bad. Courser, and then Jagged Barrens. We are looking for a black-red duel, I guess. We'll take the duel. I think Lockpicker is reasonable here, but take the duel end. We see ourselves a next pack of some more mostly off-color cards. Varaska joins up. ETB put a death touch counter on each creature you control. Whenever a legendary creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. We have currently 1 single legend. Not very good. The rest of these cards are also pretty bad, though, which is not ideal for us. But I mean, we might end up obviously splashing red for this guy. Take the salvo, maybe. Undefeated Slick Shot. Pow, pow, pow.
It seems you've been consorting with outlaws.
Hellspur Brute is fine. I don't know what our mercenary count. I wish there was a mercenary count. I mean, a outlaw count here, but it's just obviously a big idiot. The rest of the pack's pretty bad. These blue cards are. I guess these blue cards aren't that bad, but we're not even like that blue. So I think the red card. This pack's been thin, folks. I'm not gonna lie. Varmint's great. It's really super solid 2-drop and tons of There's tons of targets for this. There's so many targets for this card. Great 2-drop. Another Lonely Arroyo, but like we just don't have any white cards in our deck, so it's not super necessary, but the rest of the cards are bad too. Yeah, that doesn't really work for us. Take the Hound. Not a great pack 3. Mourner's Surprise is okay for us. This draft, yeah, I mean, like, this is kind of what I was saying earlier about, like, when you're like the multicolor deck and just don't really get that many good cards. Like, you know, you don't really open any good rares. There's so many rares in the set, but, like, you know, there's not infinite rares. You don't always get them. So, we're like a multicolor deck, but, like, we're not really utilizing that well. That being said, our card quality is pretty high, so we'll figure it out. So, ooh, Drasmith hates it. Wow.
Still a piece of garbage.
Damn. All right, let's take a look at our deck. So, I feel like we started really well, but that pack 3 which wasn't very good for us. So, no Take the Fall. No Outlaws Fury. So we are, like, obviously base green. We have black desert. All of our deserts, too, just ended up being, like, kind of off-color, too. So, like, we have a lot of deserts that just don't really fit our colors. Honestly, I'm not particularly pleased now. Now that we've laid it all out. We're green, and our cards are fine, but our splashes aren't super easy. We have 2 white lands and no white cards. And, like, not even sure how many we play them either. So, it's kind of like, yeah, this was a multi-card that, like, didn't work out super well. But we have some top end. We're fine, I think. Question being, what are we cutting? You know? I think these bounce spells can go. So we're like, maybe we're, you know, 3 red cards, 3 blue cards, 3 black cards kind of thing. We do have the Bandit's Hall for fixing. We have Dance of Tumbleweeds for fixing. And we have the Trailblazer helps a little bit. As does the Armadillo. I kind of don't want to cycle the Armadillo usually. We could, like, shave down on the problem. Yeah, I mean, we could play more blue cards. Like, the red cards aren't even that good. Oh, man. Yeah, we really missed the ball here on, like, getting the right deserts, you know? Kind of stinks. Like, we could just play these blue cards and cut, like, red. Just super awkward. We want to play deserts for our Cactarantulas anyway, and for crime stuff. Not that we have that much crime stuff either. Yeah, not our finest work, I feel like. Not our finest work. The only thing we could add is blue cards. That's the only thing that really fits. Our black cards, I mean, we just have 2 black lands that are free. We could cut, like, the Tiny Bones and the Mourner Surprise and just play deserts too. And then maybe add, like, Rope Master is, like, not the worst card ever. Fording is also, like, fine, not great. And just splash black off 2 lands and the Hall, which is, like, fine. The problem is our only thing we can really add is blue cards. We don't have enough colors and other colors to really not add other stuff. So, Salvo, Sure Shot, Brute. What's our account here on Outlaws? We got not an outlaw, not an outlaw, not an outlaw, not an outlaw, not an outlaw. It's terrible, actually. Get the hell out of here. All right, so yeah, I guess the Rope Master's in, and I guess a Fording is in, and the Take the Fall. So we're like blue, green, splash, red, black, which is certainly not ideal. Could still play the Surprise. Surprise is pretty good with the big creatures as well. Ugh. All right. Yeah. Could play Deputy too if we're, like, desperate for fixing, but let's post. Really hate this bounce spell, honestly. We have plenty of removal. Cut the bounce spell. Alright, I'll play Surprise, whatever. Our manager's kind of bad. It's just what it is. You know, we'll deal with it. We have the Hall, we have the Armadillo, we can fix it that way. So we're gonna play the Barrens, obviously. We're gonna play the Blooming Marsh, obviously. And the Archway. We need to play at least one of these, I think. Just to have enough deserts from our Cactarantulas. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 5 blue cards. Play Fake Your Own Death and Tiny Bones and cut, like, Take the Fall, Rope Master. Is that better? Man. Oh, gross. Ugliest mana base you ever seen. Oh, no.
You ain't worth spit.
Alright. Yeah, I think this is it. Just, like, a little more black than blue. Super light on red. Yeah, alright. So, Barrens, Marsh, Bounce Land. And I guess we'll put a 1 extra desert. So, 1 extra desert for our Cactarantula. And a little tiny bit of crime stuff. You know, we're playing this over an island, basically. We're not playing a mountain. So, then we got Greenlands, a couple swamps, an island. We're playing a mountain. We do have the Armadillo. That's fine. So, 7, 8 green sources. We need 9 green sources. Black. It's 5 black, which is fine. 2 blue, which is not great. Just another forest, I think. Alright, so yeah, kind of a Kind of a rough one here, honestly. Pack 3 wasn't super kind to us, but we're going to make through. Our card quality is reasonably high as far as the Cactarantulas and stuff go. Didn't really get any rares either, which is kind of weird too. But I think that's the deck, folks. So, you know what time it is? It's prediction time. Now place your bets. What do you think 7 wins? Yay or nay? Predictions. Make them now. We are in gold 2 and back from the Pro Tour. Believer or non-believer in all caps in your YouTube comment and chat. Make the bets. That's our deck. I think it's better than it looks, honestly, but let's ride it out and see how it goes. So, let's get right to the games. Let's do it. A lot of non-believers here. Y'all do realize that we're in gold and I went 5-1 at the Pro Tour, right? You do realize that, right? Chat. Hang out with me. All right, let's go. Hand's great. Keep. We have turn 1 Tiny Bones. Love it. Love it. Let's do this. Armadillo and Dance fix our mana if necessary. The old Dillo. Mulligan from our opponent. Alright, so Bloom and Marsh. Tiny Bones, do your thing, bud, and get in there. Rank bug is fixed. We can see our ranks now, which is awesome. I'm not sure, Knuckleblade. Island go. Cactarantula. Alright, so we're going to attack. Play a land. I think we might just Armadillo for the bounce land. Just kind of like keep the mana flowing so we can get our dance going, our Cactarantula and stuff. The Weird Lands, resub, thanks so much. Also, Ben Bull, resub, pronounced resub, thanks so much. Here's a Canyon Crab. Not so good against old Tiny Bones, that's for sure. Cycle this bad boy. And then we're going to get Archway or a Fixing Land. I think it's Archway. We draw a Varmint. Pretty good draw, actually. So you attack with Tiny Bones, play the Varmint, get the bounce land going. I'm actually a fan of the Grixis decks in this format. I feel like green and white are very overdrafted. And I found in our house drafts a lot that like Grixis was a great fallback plan. You get a lot of rares late usually, so. Love to fully kick this, obviously. We can just cast it for 3 next turn. Taking 1. Crab standing tall. End step. They're going to loot. Final count. Evened out a little bit, but still non-believers.
Slap some bacon on a biscuit and let's go. We're burning daylight.
Come on, Crab. These cards are Rakish Crew. One of the cooler cards of the format, but not a particularly great one. So we have Cactarantula next turn, which is sweet. I think we can wait on Dance and just kick it, I think. We get to attack here. They might block and pump, which would be sick. Yeah. Let's attack. Play this bad boy next turn, which is excellent. Obviously a free attack here too. Will they pump or not? They will not. So they're going to play it safe here. Tiny Bones will allow me to... I missed this. There we go. Tiny Bones doing work. I just totally forgot Tiny Bones had text on it. Because I just discarded this card. We didn't kill it. We're going to cast Rakish Crew. It ain't great, but it's good when it's free. Right? Here's the crew. Tiny Bones is quite good. It's a kind of card where like you really need to block it or stop it in some way. And like you get put in a lot of spots where you have 1 blocker. And if they kill it, attack, and then steal your blocker. It's pretty insane. So... pretty wild. We get the crew for free.
That's your outlaw?
My mercenary token. What do you got, friend? Now you got the Tarantula next turn and then Dance to follow if you draw a land. This is great. Fake Your Own Death, also excellent with correct... I can't say it right. Cactarantula. Any card that protects this card is insane because you draw a card when they target it and you just save it, which is great, so... Alright, so they play a Boneyard Desecrator, card that's mostly unplayable. I think one of the things in this format is that because there are no actual unplayables, there's no, like, you know, Chimney Imps or just cards that, like, you would literally never put in your deck. The average card quality is so much higher. Therefore, the cards that are mediocre should never make your deck. Boneyard Desecrator being one of them. Like, if you have, like, a perfect black-white sacrifice deck, and you need a 4-drop, sure, you can play it. It's not completely unplayable, but every card like this that makes your deck a lot worse. And modern day limited is more about your worst cards and your best cards these days because there are so many playables overall. So here's the Desecrator. I kind of want to get the Ranchula going. If I attack with Tiny Bones and they block with this, I guess I'm fine, right? I wouldn't even bother using Fake Your Own Death. So I want to cast a Tarantula really bad this turn. I guess the Possum is a backup plan. All right, sure. Let's attack with just Tiny Bones. See what happens. I should have pumped it. I attacked too fast. Whatever. All right, so take one. Should have pumped, obviously. Whoops.
Whoops. Whoopsie.
And put the Ranchula and just say go. Big boy house here. We got drains whenever an outlaw dies, which is kind of cool too. You got milled out by Deep Muck Desperados. At the Pro Tour in round 2 of my first draft, I played against John Emmanuel Duprat, who is our current world champion. And Duprat was playing blue-red and had Archive Trap, the fork, or the copy card that like copies a spell, and the crab, and milled me out in one of the games. Pretty sick, but I got the match, so. Going to discard again with the crab. So, saying go with a bunch of mana up is obviously a emergency meeting kind of moment. What's going on here? Not really sure. Could be a removal spell. Could be a counter spell. They discard a Seize the Secrets, a card they could have cast. So, something is amiss here. Thankfully, we have tricks of our own, which is great. We have 2 things to play also. So, let's pump this Tiny Bones, I think, and just get in. Again, I don't really mind making trades here anyway, so. Yes, I am now the world champion. That's how it works. You beat the world champion, and then you're now the world champion. So, attack. Crab blocks Tiny Bones. Desecrator blocks Cack Tarantula. These look great for us, so we're going to pass priority. No reason to do anything just yet. We see a pump on the crab. That's also fine. So now this is a spot where you might be tempted to use Fake Your Own Death on the Tiny Bones, right? I have a trick. I can win the combat. That sounds great, right? Your number one goal in Limited, always, 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 is to try and not get blown out, right? So they said they've got stuff to do. They said go with a bunch of mana up. They could have a bounce spell or a removal spell here. And if we go for the trick and they have the re-trick, that's a devastating thing for us. This is a perfectly fine exchange on both sides. We're very, very happy just to pass priority or let it happen. And then if they have a trick, we can re-trick them. So be careful with your pump spells. Don't be greedy, all right? Kenny in chat wants to know, how can you know if a card is mediocre or good? It's just like a balance of rate versus effect it has on gameplay, right? There just aren't many good things to do with this card, and the rate's not very good either, you know? Obviously, checking like things like untapped 17 lands can help as well. You know, like for example, the 3-mana 3/3 that plots for 4 as a 5/5 looks fine, and is one of the worst performing green commons. Just isn't very good. You know, and I wouldn't have thought that going in. So data can help there too, but it depends. So they're going to Fake Your Own Death on the Boneyard Desecrator. This is going to make it trade with the Cack Tarantula. We'll just Fake Your Own Death back. I think keeping our Cack Tarantula alive is awesome. So pop this here. These both resolve. Trade off in combat. And they're going to drain for 1. We get our Ranchula back. They get their thing back. Yeah, the best way to deal with the spider is to beat it in combat and not target it. So keeping it alive is phenomenal there. And then we get a possum, which is great too. And then we have a treasure for our dance tumbleweeds, which is awesome too. So do that and say go. Board looks pretty good. I'd say overall it was a very good turn for us, right? They didn't develop their board. We got to re-trick them, and now we're still looking great. They mill a land, 5 mana up. Bunch of colors now with the treasure and the pylons. Rattleback Apothecary. They're meant for a 3/2 Death Touch, Crime, Lifelink, or Menace. It's fine. And a Lazav. Lazav is very good. Excellent, excellent card. Just grows whenever you crime. Has some upside too. So, Apothecary is also a card that lines up well against the Cack Tarantula. We have our Jailbreak Scheme. We'll see what we draw here. See how I'll play this one. Draw Sterling Hound. Okay. So, trading Cack Tarantula for Apothecary is pretty bad. Can just get our Possum in there. Might want to just get Possum in there. We can crew also, get a little extra bump going on. Could just play Hound and Sentry, or we could kick the Tumbleweeds, get a 5/5 being a blue land. I think you can wait on that. Let's be bigger. So we'll just crew and attack. Let's just go pump the possum. Crew the possum. And attack with a, what's it, 6/6? 5/5. We'll decline to return. They want to trade off the apothecary. Awesome. Great. So, totally fine exchange for us. And now we get to play our Hound and our Sentry. Surveil 2. We see Forest and Swamp. Don't want either of those. And play the Sentry. And we can see here with the Mercenary. What's awesome is the Mercenary can just pump the Sentry and it can just attack by itself, which is super great too. So this card's pretty awesome. Kirby fifth first time. John Kirby says got introduced to your YouTube first time, catching you on the stream. Making sure everyone else comments and subscribes, support the content. Everyone say hi to Kirby. Love our YouTube folks. Munchies are great, don't worry about it. Home from the Pro Tour. Bronze Mythic returns. Doing a few drafts today and then a whole bunch of drafts on Sunday. Although there's actually an arena open this weekend, which I didn't even know about. So we'll see what the plans are for the weekend. But we're finishing up Bronze Mythic this week and next week. They move to combat. They say go. So once again, 5 mana up, looking kind of sketchy. Lazav can grow with a crime and even copy a creature in a graveyard. So it can copy the Death Toucher, which is kind of a big deal. It can copy the Armadillo too, actually, which is kind of a thing as well. So let's untap here and see what we draw. We draw This Town Ain't Big Enough. And that's actually a pretty good one. We can just bounce both their creatures. That's kind of gas. Obviously, we run the risk of a counterspell or something like that here. We could just have a setup turn. Just play Dance and just not attack with anything. Because obviously, Lazav blocking as a 7/7 is pretty good. But I think we should go for this. Say it, folks. This town ain't big enough.
You ain't worth spit.
You're both gone. Use our treasure.
Get off my
Counterspell or you're dead. Card's pretty awesome. You can bounce your own stuff with it. Bounce their stuff with it. Oh boy!
Bingo!
Attack step. Rooftop Assassin. I guess I probably should have pumped with the Mercenary rather than attack with it, honestly. Because, like, there are some flash 2/2 flyers, so that was probably a mild mistake, but whatever. They're going to trade anyway, so it didn't end up mattering. But so block the Hound, gain some life, take 1,000,000. They go down to 3 and then up to 5. And we're feeling pretty good about things here. Looks like they might have not had an actual trick, just the Assassins. They might have not been able to Lazav copy. Here is the 5/4. They are dead on board, so that's cool, I guess. Just pump, just stack it up. So stack with everything, and they die. Works for me. Saints resub, thanks so much. 1 year. All right, so solid first game there. We'll take it, right? There we go. Count it. Back home, back on the board. And that's great. And folks, I want to remind you all that I am an Elgato partner, brought to you by Elgato. Their gear powers everything I do. Those right there is how I do this. We got the key lights, we got the face cam. The whole setup is Elgato, folks. And they have a new Neo family of products, which are pretty sweet. I don't know the graphics for it, but they are, I don't even want to say entry level because they're so high quality, but affordable and super easy to use. Elgato is kind of like the power user brand, where like everyone who's a serious streamer uses Elgato stuff. But if you're, you know, a work from home person and a little daunted by it, the Neo family is it. They are super easy to use. They look super sleek. They're white. They got cool stuff on them. Again, no graphics on hand currently, but look them up. Check them out. The Neo family is great. Use promo code ZZGym5, 5% off. And please use the link as well. Every computer should have one of those little stream decks, and yours should too. So check them out. Elgato partner and proud of it. Going into game 2 here. GG Nathan. All right, hand's not as good. We do have 2/2 drops and a Dance of Tumbleweed, so and we're on the draw. We can keep his hand. This is fine. Yeah, we'll keep this. It's not great, but non-believers shaking in their spurred boots.
You saying you want to commit a crime, Homer?
Take one. Hound. This is why I like Hound in these decks, because like just like I like the two drop one in the last format, you just always cast it and always blocks. You know. We draw a burrow. All right, let's do that instead. Dream decks are insane. Like, every computer should have one. Every single computer should have one. Like, you can do anything with it. any program you use, any line of work you're in, you can find an awesome use of the Stream Deck. It's sort of like a mouse. Like, early computers didn't have mice, you know? And they should have, but they don't. But once you start using a mouse, you can't work without it. Stream Decks are the same way. All right, so you missed on a land, unfortunately, which sucks, but we're still doing decently here. They plot a Trailblazer, which sucks for us, because that card's obviously insane. But let's just mill 2. It's a creature, back for 3. And now, if we mill one more creature, we can attack with both of these next turn to get in for a pretty big attack. That being said, they have a 4 power creature, but... Mike in chat says, getting a Stream Deck is fantastic. Getting one was like the first time I got a second monitor. Yep. The things that you can't realize you never could live without. You know, multiple monitors, a mouse, Stream Deck, remote control on a computer, on TV. So here's a Trailblazer, ETB, add a mana. They had a green. Play a Bluffs. Take 1.
I'd be lying if I said my men weren't committing crime.
And they're going to Free Strider Commando. We draw a land, but unfortunately can't do a ton with it. I would love to kill this thing, because they don't draw a card off this for Commando, but we can't, which sucks. They might trade. It's a lot of damage, but let's play a land and play the Hound, just try and beef this graveyard up and get in. We reveal a Clear Shot and an Ankle Biter. I don't think I want either one of those, actually. I just need to make land drops. So chip both of these. And then we're going to crew the Burrow Fiend. Saddle up. Mill a non-creature, it sucks. So now, it's kind of funny because, like, it's not big enough to survive a block now, but trading here might be fine anyway. Yeah, sure. So they don't draw a card now. I'm actually pretty happy with this. You know, like, we're not going to be beaten down that hard this game, and now they don't draw a card off this, which is good too, so I'm pleased. Yeah. Nothing like a Centaur with spurs on it. Centaur riding a Centaur. It's messed up.
Saddle up, partner.
Draw Forest. Alright, so we're doing fine here as far as making land drops goes. Do you want to dance for a... We don't have a land that's red and blue, unfortunately. For non-stream, what's the principal use case? Literally anything. It's like any... You do work on the computer, opens applications... Many apps have functions where if you use Photoshop or Excel, you can do keyboard shortcuts on it. You can control all your any volumes, any settings. You can do just so much stuff on it. It's unbelievable. Like, it's sort of like what can't you do with it, you know? All right. We dance the Tumbleweeds for a land. We could play Cacturantula next turn. I guess that's where we're at. So let's just dance for a land. It sucks. I'd much rather make a creature out of it, but we gotta counterspell this thing? They do have 5 mana up, which is, you know, a thing. We had Tiny Bones too. Wow. Alright, so honestly, this sucked, but it wasn't that bad, because the best use of 3 steps ahead limited is the full 6 mana mode and copying a creature. That's where it's absolutely backbreaking. That was just a good counterspell. So honestly, kind of dodged a bullet there, I think. So play Tiny Bones and take up. And that hurts. Makes our hand a lot worse. That was going to be our red source and our desert. But is it is. Yeah, macros and games. Stream Deck. Clear Shot down the Tiny Bones. Wow. And they're offering the double block, too. This is tempting. They have another trick here. It's pretty bad for us. But this is a pretty tempting double block. Sentry can't attack anyway, and we're kind of like want to slow this game down. Oh, man. We're going to get wrecked here, I think. I think that, like, there's a chance we get wrecked, but I think that blocking here is, like, almost mandatory. We just don't have anything else going on. We just need to draw mana and colors. So we just need time. Alright, we're gonna block. I can't look. I can't look. I can't look. I'm not gonna look. That was a pause. Don't do it. That sounded great. Alright. We survived. We survived. What would Pro Tour Gym do? Block. Just what I did. And they have a Rise of the Varmints. They only have 3 creatures in the bin, but it's still pretty good. But alright, draw Band's Haul, which is great. You can haul and Varmint now. That's our colors of mana. We'll say go. Yeah, so the reason why you block there, even though there's a chance to get blown out, is that, like, we can't really beat a trick anyway, I think. We're just too far behind. And it's just the kind of thing where, like, we just kind of have to just do it and hope it works, you know? So, Ristic Buddy Resub, thanks so much. Spine Paladin's awesome. They plotted the varmints. It's funny, usually you just, like you just hold this card and cast it, don't even plot it. You don't reveal it, but... Now we, like, don't want to kill this thing. This card's been weird for me. It's been, like, insane sometimes, and it's been, like, mediocre sometimes. But, alright, so... We could play Cactarantula. Don't particularly want to trade with this Paladin. I know I'd go from... Oh, my God. Well, this card's messed up. One of the better rares of set in Roxanne. We can kill it, but it's going to cost a lot. Frank! Reset, thanks so much. Draw Possum. Alright. I mean, that's a pretty good draw. We can kill this Roxanne. Get a crime counter, say go. Now our blocks aren't, like, too bad, at least. Card's messed up. Messed up good. Alright. Here comes the 5-4. I guess we just trade, right? Like, it sucks as you want to make them kill this and not trade with it, but, like, we're just taking damage here, so... Now the board's stable. We have the Bandit's Horde, too. If you draw a Desert, you can draw a card with the Horde, which is great. Pretty bummer block, but is what it is. Oh, no. Look at the graveyard. Oh, no! What's worse than one bomb rare? Two bomb rares! Right, well, we can kill it again. Oh, we can't kill it. Oh, my God. We don't have a freaking Desert. No! That sucks. All right. Well, now they were dead. The counterspell on the Dance Tumbleweeds really put us in the stinker. All right, we're at 7. Roxanne. Vault Plunderer. Target themselves, sure. Play land. I mean, if they attack... No, we're just dead. Because they just shoot me, we just die. Yeah, we're just dead. I could shrink it and block it, but I just die to the tokens. Yeah, so... I mean, I guess we'll see what the crime has for us, but... I don't think there's any outs here, obviously. Yeah. Alright. Yeah, Roxanne's really, really, really good. What do you... That's one area our deck a little lacks in. It just bombs a little bit, so kind of stinks. But hey, no rank down. Works for me. All right. Oh, my God. Nice hand, Jim. I mean, we're going to keep. But we'll keep. We got treasure and a fixer thingy. Desert Stew. That kills stuff. All right. All right. All right. You can spread your mana base pretty wide in this format. Or you can play Swamp. That works too. Whatever, you know.
It'd be best if you turn tail and run.
Draw a green source, which is great. Surveil. I mean, I want to cast this freaking Armadillo. Scheme's definitely going to go. We'll keep the Armadillo on top. We'll see how it turns out for us, but... No land. Folks, you can't keep him. You can't keep a swamp hand, a 7-card hand in this format, all right? What are we doing here? Pull it together. All right, so maybe a freebie from our opponent. Playing a Ward 2 creature, your opponent has 2 lands in play is pretty good.
A hired gun's gotta take work where he can get it.
Bloodseeker. Mill 2 swamps, sure. We draw a Possum. So we just like Possum crew attack, right? So I have 4 power. Yeah, it works for me. Here's a Possum. Saddle up.
That's a pretty sorry looking wagon you got there, mister.
Oh, I'm an idiot. Right. the order operations there is a little bit off. You know, we mixed up the order. It's got a sure, that's fine. Whatever. I think it'll be all right. Anyway, so now we'll just act properly, and then we'll use. I think we'll fake your own death on the Hound. We can cast the Armadillo next turn. So play a land. Yeah, we'll just attack. Send in the clowns. Right. Obviously, if I thought about it for half a second, I would have realized it didn't work, but alright. I mean, if they had Death to do, they would have used it a long time ago, I think. So we're going to be pretty happy to fire Fake Your Own Death here. And get in for a chunk. They go to 5. Our guy comes back. We get to Surveil again. We get a Treasure. We get to Armadillo. I'll keep a land on top to cast. I'm just going to cast the Armadillo for the full amount and keep the blue for this town. So I think this game's pretty over. Who remembers the song "This Town" from Korn? Anyone? This town is our town. It was like an early B-side. I used to be a big Korn fan when I was like a little teenager. So, anyone out there also a big Korn fan when they were a teenager? Ugh. Rush of Dread. Black. Target opponent sacrifices half of the creatures they control, rounded up. We're just gonna kill them anyways. Doesn't actually matter. So, all right. And untap and play the Armadillo. And oh boy.
Oh my God.
This one works. Send in the boys. You're from the same city as Korn, have the same name as me. Sweet. Alright, let's go. Alright. Hand's great. Tiny Bones on 1. Removal spells. Alright. Yeah, I'll keep. Angle Biter. So, this is actually kind of cool for Tiny Bones, right? Because we can, like, kill it and then cast it immediately, but we'll see. Alright, so we got green-black. We got Hard Bristle Bandit. We draw Burrow Fiend. Okay. I mean, we're not offering a trade here, I don't think. Yeah, we'll just ban just Burrow Fiend. Just Burrow Fiend, so they go. Saddles for 2. Could have killed the bandit, but like I think we're fine to play a longer game. I don't need to like try and like mana screw them, so ugh, that card's good. Outcaster Greenblade is one of the best green uncommons of a set. Phenomenal card. Huge mana fixes, card advantage, literally just everything you ever wanted. Alright, we draw Voracious Varmint. We got a tap land here. Jonkasaur reset, thanks so much. We can desert down the Greenblade. Am I willing to trade Burrow Fiend for the Ankle Biter? I think I am, honestly. Just try and get this Tiny Bones in. They have Snakeskin Veil, so be it. Nothing they've done so far makes me think they have that, so... Yeah. Alright, let's play our... Let's float a mana. Play the Arch. Then we'll try and Desert Stew and see what happens. This is a -3/-3. It's dead. That's the wrong button, but... It's always the right button, if you ask me. And then we'll attack with our Burrow Fiend. We are 2-1, yes. Again, trade here is fine. Biter, Varmint, Surprise. Could surprise it back. Alright, we're in. Say go. Killed this thing before it got any bigger, which is great. A lot of cool combos this card, too. You can, like, blink it or bounce it. Plays well with the Possum. Had that going Command Fest in a sealed deck. I was, like, every turn just casting it with Possum. It's pretty sick. Bro! Resub! Thanks so much. Nice work, a chance. Appreciate it. Yes, again, Pro Tour, if you missed it, I'm home for the Pro Tour. 25th place. And, $3,000 and a $3,000 Ren and 6. $6,000 in total prizes. Pretty good for overall. Also queued for the next 2 Pro Tours, which is great. If you want to see my article on the Pro Tour, boom. It's on CoolStuffInc.com. Check it out. Go over the entire Pro Tour. Lots of great pictures in there. Also, me and the team and everything. So, check it out. CoolStuffInc.com. We got an ankle biter, and we got a trash the town to draw 2 cards. Sure. And let's go Rangers Sunday. Hell yeah. Okay, so opponent plays a Blood Hustler. This is a spot where, like, if we had a kill spell, we could, like, kill this thing, attack, and steal it immediately, but we can't cast the salvo yet, which sucks. That being said, Hustler's really good. I think I'm inclined to just... I can't float the mana. I can't go Varmint and Surprise. That sucks. Alright, so... Oh, wow. The bounce line is great, but it can be awkward at times for sure. Do I sell my Rens? Yeah, I don't want them. Like... Wow. Okay. I think we just jam it both. Because if we want to cast more Surprise and Varmint... We have to do it in the same... we can't float the mana or whatever. It needs to be in the same phase. So, what's stack? I think they're going to block. If I don't block, I can steal a Green Blade, which is insane. So they kind of have to block. This is why Tiny Bones is pretty cool. Because it puts them in spots like this. How many players in the Pro Tour? 207. One of the smallest Pro Tours in a long time. Right, kind of a weird pause there, honestly. Didn't like that, but... And float some mana. Here is a Mourner's Surprise to get back Tiny Bones. And a Varmint. Get that. I'm getting this.
As long as we get paid or you get shot, I'm happy.
Tiny Bones is the any mana qualifier, correct. As a Bruins fan, am I rooting for a second straight blown lead first round or Maple Leafs misery? I'm a Rangers fan, not a Bruins fan, but I like the Leafs to win. Honestly, I hate the Bruins. So, also have Austin Matthews on my fantasy team, so a little biased at this point. Varmint, so kind of a small ball game here. A lot of small creatures kind of coming in. We draw a green source. We can cast Cactarantula, which would be awesome. That is true. I could have milled with the Varmint to crew post-combat just to mill 2 cards. Yeah, that's fair. You don't need to attack to mill. Uh-oh. Bomb Rare City, folks. I don't like there are no bombs in our deck. They're going to crew and with the biter and attack for 6. We take 6. Gibrog's pretty good. Alright, so will they sack the biter and draw cards? That's great for us, I think. Play land. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a house, right? We draw a desert for the Rantula, but it's not green. We have Tiny Bones and Ankle Biter both as blockers, which is kind of cool. It's kind of awkward. Like, we've got 0 creatures in the graveyard. Yeah, I mean, we're going to get in. We're taking a huge hit next turn because it's trample, but, like, I think it's fine. Mill over Forest. Damn it. And we'll pump this. And we had no creatures either, which kind of sucks. Attack for 3. So it would have been better to attack for 2 and then 2, but, like, we didn't know that, obviously. And, like, it's building up bigger later, so I think it's fine. Attack for 3. And... Alright, so Tiny Bones. Tiny Bones is Buddy Ankle Biter. And then a dink. Dink! And it is your turn. So, still don't have double green for Cactarantula. Still no red for Salvo, which obviously we signed up for with our mana base. But our mana base is pretty good, honestly. But Stars making a comeback against the Knights. Sweet. I hate the Knights. Everyone hates the Knights now, so. They're cheaters. Cheaters! Ugh, that's big. Spine was Paladin's huge. Another big trampler. Not good against our Death Touch creatures. So we draw a castable spell, a red source, or a green source. Oh, Johnny Bones, I like your cool hat.
Now, we're on.
What do you got, friend?
Slap some bacon on a biscuit and let's go. We're burning daylight.
Jeez. It's the rare parade over here. Here's like Caustic Bronco, but then no attacks? Okay. Armadillo, no! Alright, so we can Armadillo for a red source or a green source. Awkward. Don't think we have any untapped red sources, right? Only red sources are the Jagged Barons. Oh my god. That's so awkward. It's funny, this is actually a pretty good turn to attack with Tiny Bones. Because, like, I would happily trade with any of these creatures. And if they don't block, I get back a good creature also. So, that feels pretty nice. That being said, they're going to attack pretty nasty next turn. Damn, man. This sucks. Just like the most awkward lands possible. The big trample attack next turn is pretty wild, too. Alright. I'm going to attack. I hate it, but attacking. We gain 3 of this, I guess, too, which is kind of nice. Like, Bronco has to block here, which is no choice. So, and if they block with the Paladin or whatever, it's freaking great, too. So, we have no untapped red sources in our deck. So, we can't get a red. Alright, cool. Tiny Bones trades with Bronco. We are going to channel this bad boy. And then the question is, am I getting red or green? I think it's got to be green. For Cactarantula. Damn allergies, man. Alright, say go. 15 life is better than 12 life, for sure. Against, 11 trampling power. Still 3 cards. They have 2 cards in their hand. I mean, they could have just, like, crew with the freaking Paladin and just draw a million cards, right? All you said is deal damage to a player, so... see what happens. We're behind the 8 ball here a little bit for sure. Their next team is pretty reasonable. That's bad. Kind of weird they would do this pre-combat, because I'm definitely blocking Biter on Trampler. So, like, why expose the non-Trampler? Are they going to try and draw 8 cards? Damn. I mean, like, okay. Alright, yeah, whatever. Draw 8 cards, I guess. What are we going to do? They draw 8 and can put an 8 land. I mean, the thing is, like, I feel like this has, like, a, possibility for ruin. They have a Snakeskin Veil, I swear to God. Oh, my God. Pretty tough game. So they draw 8. And have 13 cards in their deck. They can put in a number of lands. Hopefully they just do 6 spells. Alright, I guess we're dead. We got frogged. That is the risk of playing the multicolor deck. You don't really get any rares. Is that just you get outpowered in the mid game. If you're not fast enough to kind of like overcome the rares kind of thing. So, Vile Smasher. You draw a land off. So yeah, not so good. Not so good. I'm excited for the new Tron land. I gotta play Modern at the Pro Tour for Pro Tour MH3, but Modern's still kind of whatever, so. Well, there's a different Tron land too, or something, right? Yeah. The shapeshifter Tron land, it's all the Tron lands, is not legal in Modern, even though it's in Modern Horizons. It's in Modern Horizons Commander. Which is just like, who can even keep track anymore, honestly, right? Modern Horizons Commander, not legal in Modern. Humiliate? Yeah, I'm humiliated. I would say I'm humiliated here. They have a blue floating and a Blood Hustler. 2 Blood Hustlers, huh? That's pretty good. MH3 will be on Arena, yes, but not the commander cards, probably. Look who's here. Oh, just kidding. Okay, bye, Karn. Actually, he walked in, saw the game, and just walked right out. He's like, oh, I have nothing to do with that one. Second miner, sure. Alright, yeah, we're really dead. They have different symbols, but like it's just hard to tell when you're looking at previews. Blood us. Alright. Yeah, we're gonna draw a land here and then concede, I think. Just keep. I mean, when you draw 7 cards, you kind of just keep playing spells. So, all right. So, yeah, we're super dead. We're just dead. Whatever. All right. Yeah. So, tough game. Get Rock drew 8 cards for them, and they play a lot of rares and stuff. And our mana was kind of bad. So, is what it is. All right. Time to rally. Our mana base doesn't agree, but we're gonna keep this. Vermin and Clear Shot. Put it all together. You have some swamps in our deck. Any advice on free-to-play limited on MTG? What's up, TV? Welcome, my friend. Watch Bronze Mythic. Listen to podcasts, you know. If you are a like 50% win rate player in Platinum or better in Limited, you can go infinite on Arena for the most part. You know, you might need to buy a draft here or there, but for the most part, as long as you go like 3-3, 4-3, 5-3 pretty often, you'll break even for the most part, which is great. And it builds up your account super well too. So if you're a free-to-play player, in Arena, drafting is almost mandatory. Wow. So they're gonna discard Prickly Bear and they discard Lawbringer. Man, they're really discarding a lot of cards here. I'm fine to block. All right, not great, but is what it is. We have Cactarantula here pretty fast. That's cool. Standard or quick draft. I mean, quick draft is more exploitable if you figure out what the bots don't draft. But either or, you know. Nimble Brigand. Welcome back, my friend. I like this card. At knife point. So, Outlaws have first strike. Whenever they commit a crime, make a token. Very weird card because, like, it wants 2 different things out of you. It doesn't really pay you off that well anyway.
Assemble the mercenaries.
Alright, so they mill over a card. I mean, obviously, Brigand drawing card next turn would be insane. Alright. Shot down in his prime. That's okay, though. It's Cactarantula time! Big Papa! Drew a Black Source, too. Cool. Mine Raider.
I'm back on the streets with all my criminal buddies.
Alright, so a little outlaw action here. Card is, yeah, Kragen's card's pretty mopey. I think a number of the signpost cards don't seem super great, but kind of working for them here, honestly. First strike only on their turn, so not on defense. Damn. You got the freaking precon here. Okay. Here comes the Rantula. No blocks. Alright, we're just gonna kill Bile Smasher, I think. So, kill Bile Smasher, get him for 7, and then play our black land tapped. Now we have a Fake Your Own Death for next turn, which is cool, so. I mean, they're doing it. They've triggered it every turn. At knife point, making those tokens. The Mercs.
I'm back on the streets with all my criminal buddies.
Okay. I think I want to get back to the, well, let's attack first. Obviously, they're not going to block, so. Attack first, so we'll just, like, buy back the 1-3. We're still in pretty good shape here, honestly, so. 1-3 plays pretty well on this board. As far as holding the land, there's like the affinity discard a card. I'm gonna hold this land. as they go. Like, we're 13, 2 blockers, big attacker. Looking pretty good. Kind of a cool deck. I found these, like, synergy, sacrificey decks, like, pretty hard to build. There's a lot of moving parts, and your, like, green opponents get to play huge creatures with no downsides, basically. So, like, feels like you're going uphill a lot of the time, but you can do it. I was 5-0 in Limited at the Pro Tour, playing my last round for 6-0, and I lost to, like, the sickest black-white deck ever. They were just, like, black-white, all commons and uncommons. They had 3 of this card, 2 dirges, 2 of the 4/2. Like every card, it was like a precon deck. It was insane. So, all right, they are going to pump up the Mercenary to a 3/1 and attack with both of these. It's aggressive, but fine, sure. Hard to lead, man. It's not going that bad. All right, we have Salvo on their turn with the treasure, which is kind of cool. That works out. Kind of want to just attack with the Brigand, honestly. Leave Tarantula back to block. Karn agrees. Karn. Yeah. The thing is, they commit a crime, make a blocker. It's like really bad. I'm just gonna do this. Worst is going to be a kill spell on this and makes you attackers. Damn. This is gross. This it also exiles, so this card doesn't even do anything. God, this is the stone worst, man. Good for them, I guess. They made it work. All right, we're kind of screwed. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. Bin 2 lands. All right, so pump the Raider up. They've been 2 lands too. It's probably do a spell this turn. Not necessarily, but just gonna put it all on the Raider. If it's damn Salvo to be able to cast it all. I actually shouldn't play this card. This card sucks. It's not very good on Splash. It's hard to use. All right. I mean, what? I'm fucking idiot. Trample. My bad. I didn't know this guy's trying to trample. That being said, I think we were just dead anyway. So, yeah. I mean, good for our opponent. I've never seen this deck function before, and our opponent obviously pulled it off. So good for them, I guess. But yeah. All right. Not our best draft ever to come back from the Pro Tour, but you know, whatever. Win matches at the Pro Tour, lose matches on Bronze and Mythic. Basically just how we do things here. So a nice 2-3 to start out with. But we're in gold tier 1. Here's what it is. No, I didn't have fun that match, actually. I'm very sad about it. Heard here first, folks. Gold on the arena, harder than the Pro Tour. Our deck was pretty bad. I think this is like one of the risks you take when you try and draft this multicolor deck. It's just like not really getting any rares. We kind of got into it early based on the Armadillo and the Dance of Tumbleweeds, but like we were sort of playing to open some sort of rare, and realistically any color rare we opened we could have played except for Archangel of Atize, which we opened, but we just didn't really see any rares, you know, like, so like that happens. Obviously, you know, the Trailblazer was good. Literally never drew it in any game ever, but this card's obviously very good. But we're looking for, like, you know, boom, boom, bomb rares, you know. And our mana base wasn't particularly great. All the decks we got were the wrong colors. and then we were splashing some kind of bad cards. Just not a great deck overall. So 2-3, kind of a stinker, but we'll get right back at it. And episode 8 is coming up. YouTube folks, love you. Like, comment, subscribe, and that's it.